Okay, guys and girls, our objective today is to continue solving equations, one-step, two-step, and multi-step with fractions and mixed numbers. Okay, so that's our plan for today. I'd like to give you more time than usual in class today to start homework so that I can walk around and make sure that you're all on the right track. Okay, so just a reminder, make sure all homework corrections go in the back to Miss Wingrove. Second thing, Chapter 5 test, tentatively scheduled for next Thursday. Okay, tentatively, I'll let you know for sure Tuesday if anything changes. Okay, the only change that could be made is maybe it'll be Friday instead of Thursday. Okay, so number one on the warm-up, anyone want to share their answer with us? Ben? Good job. Anyone want to share number two with us? Grace? Awesome. Okay, number one, and I just did this to save us some time. Okay, here's number one. The first thing that you needed to do was find a common denominator with 3/4 x and 2/3 x, because those are the two terms that you'll have to combine. Okay, Tiger, there's a calculator on my desk if you need to borrow it. Yes. Hold on 1 second. Let me talk through it. So, common denominator with this term and this term, which is change it to a denominator of 12. And then subtract the smaller coefficient, which is the 8, to the other side, which, again, we learned this in Chapter 3. You end up with 1/12 x minus 5/6 equals 0. Move 5/6 to the other side if you do it this way. And at the last step, like we talked about yesterday, to get rid of a fraction, multiply both sides by the denominator. Be careful here because you'll have to multiply across the top, across the bottom, and you could simplify. So there were a couple ways to do this. I know some of you are looking at me like, well, I kind of did that differently. Bless you. You can do that differently. As long as you can get to x equals 10 and understand your process, you're fine. Jordan. Yes, definitely. Yeah, actually, at this step, if you want to divide both sides by 1/12, dividing by 1/12 is the same thing as multiplying by 12 over 1. So, yeah, if you like that way better. Some of the 7th graders, we were doing this yesterday in proofs, they were doing the same thing.
Attention German Club officers.
That's loud.
We will be having an officer meeting in room D104 in the next couple minutes. If you're a German Club officer, please come to room D104 now.
Okay, so one more time. If you like to divide that by 1/12, go for it, same thing. Second one is no solution. Like we talked about in Chapter 3, you end up with 1/2 does not equal negative 1/2. If the variables cancel and you end up with a false statement, think back to Chapters 2 and 3, no solution. What if this was 1/2 equals 1/2? What would the answer be? If it was 1/2 equals 1/2, Shane? Good, all real numbers. If it was an inequality and it was all real numbers, what do you do to the number line? Just as a review. Skylar? Good, you color or shade the whole thing in because it can be anything. If it's no solution and it's a number line, leave it alone. Amberly? Okay, thank you. All right, any questions or comments on the warm-up? Drew, sorry, I didn't see you. Yep. Okay, so let me go backwards. Okay. Drew, first thing, and I'm not sure how much work you showed, did you find a common denominator of 12? Did you forget the x? Okay, that's what okay. Yeah, and make sure you just, it'll be easier on the test or homework because you'll see that x right in front of you. So that's why. So you probably did it correctly the way without the x. Anyone else? Okay, let's go over practice 5, 6. How was the homework? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs down. How was the homework? Just curious. Okay, thank you. I guess we'll see right now. Okay, practice 5.6. Let's just go around the room here quickly. I want you to tell me what you got, and then as always, we'll go over any questions that you have. Neil, number 1, please. Good. Amberly, number 2. Good. Gio, number 3. Oh, forgot. Thank you. Jackie, number 3. Say that again. Good. Negative 24. Jordan, number 4. Good. 30. Camille, number 5. Good, negative 24. Number 6, Evan. Good. Alexis, number 7. Good, or 4 7s, whatever you guys prefer. That's fine. Number 8, Joseph. Nope. For some reason you have it flipped. I'm not sure why. Skylar, what did you get for 8? Okay, or 1 3/4. So you guys can have 1.75, 1 3/4. You could have it as an improper fraction. That's your call there. Neil? 7/4. Okay, number 9, Steve. You do the same thing that Drew did, or that Joseph did, sorry. It should be 4/9. Somehow you have it flipped. I will address that in a couple minutes, okay? No, not the answer. So hold on one second. Jordan, you okay? Grace, we'll go with you, number 10, please. Good, and just keep your negative in front, but good job. 11, Ray. Good, negative 9/22. Number 12, Nathan S. Negative 5/14. Josh, number 13. Good. Number 14, Mike. Good. Amberly, or sorry, not Amberly, I already asked you. Abigail, number 15. Sorry. Good. 12.5 or 12.5. Again, you can also change it to 25/2. Okay, here's our answers. Not as many as yesterday. I know I need to go over number 9. So besides 9, any questions on anything, Kevin? 14. Is it okay if I move this, everyone? Yeah. No? I'll give you guys a second. Okay, can I move it now? Okay, number 14, Kevin and anyone else that needed it, we have 4 7 x plus 8 equals 28. Kevin, let me know when you find your mistake. Step 1, subtract 8 on both. You already found it? Oh. Ben, was that you that said that? Please don't do that, okay? Okay, Ben, I just want you to sit there unless you're asking me a question. Please do not yell out. Ray, not funny. 4 7 x is equal to 20. So, Kevin, there's the first step. Second thing, Kevin, did you multiply both sides by 7 or by 7/4? No? What did you? Ray, turn around. You divide it, and that's fine. Okay, so let's do it your way. Divided both sides by 4 7. Okay, so these are going to cancel. Okay, so we have x equals 20 divided by 4 7 is the same thing as 20 times 7/4. Flip it. Did you do that? No? Okay, well, that's what you should have done. And then cross simplify. 2 goes into each of these. Why did I say that? Thank you. 4 goes into each of them, my fault. So then multiply across the top, across the bottom, you get 35/1 or 35. So Kevin, did you make a mistake? Did you forget to flip it? Is that? Okay, so let me tell you how to do that. If you're doing that on your calculator, you have to type in 20 divided by, all this has to be in parentheses. This is where the calculator's not smart, and the calculator does not understand order of operations like you do, like all of you guys and girls do. Okay, so you have to use parentheses if you're going to do it that way. Okay, so at some point today or next week, Kevin, before the test, try that to make sure you know how to do that. Okay, Neil? Here, I'll go back to the answers. Okay, anyone else questions? Okay, Grace, I'll come right back to you. Neil, number 15? Okay. Okay, 15, we have 6 equals 1/2 x minus 1/4. Neil, the first thing you have to do is change 6 to 24/4. So find a common denominator. Did you do that? Okay. Add 1/4 to both sides. So this goes away. We have 25/4. Okay, you added wrong? Okay. Equals 1/2 x. So you're okay then? Make sure you get 12.5. Does anyone else need 15 before I move to another problem? Okay, Grace, what number? 4. Okay, number 4, we have 28 equals 14 over 15x. So Grace, step 1, did you multiply both sides by 15 first? So step 1, get rid of the bottom of the fraction. Multiply both sides by 15. This goes away. We're left with 420 equals 14x. Okay, then divide both sides by 14, and then you get x is 30. You okay? Okay, Evan? Yes, I can. Number 8 is 4/5 x equals 7/5. Evan, did you multiply both sides by 5 first? Okay. So multiply both sides by 5. Okay, it's going to cancel here. Okay, so we have 4x equals, now on this side, it's actually going to cancel as well. So if you didn't realize that, though, you could do 7 times 5, which is 35, divided by 5, and you get 7. Same thing as canceling here. Did you realize that or no? Okay. And then last step, divide both sides by 4. You get x equals 7/4 or 1 3/4 or 1.75. You okay? Okay. Joseph? You messed up your negative, you said? Okay, okay. I didn't hear you. Okay, 11, we have 3 over 14 equals negative 11 over 21x. Okay, so step 1, did you multiply 21 on both sides? Okay. You checking your work, Joseph? I just want to make sure. Okay. So cross this off. We're left with negative 11x equals. You can cross simplify here. 7 goes into both of these. Goes into this one twice. This one 3 times. Okay. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay. I'll still keep going just in case. Do you need me to keep going? Sure. Okay. Anyone else on number 11? Peyton? 11? Okay. So did you have this so far? Did you do it this way? That's okay. You'll still end up with the same thing then. So at this point, you then divided by 11, right, instead of negative 11? Okay. Or did you change 9 over 2 to 4.5? No. You just didn't have 9 over 2 or anything equivalent to it. Okay. Well, you should. Do you need me to re-explain this part? Okay. At this point, do you know what to do? Okay. Take 9 over 2, divide it by, change it to multiplication, flip that, so you have 1 over negative 11. Multiply across the top, across the bottom, you'll get 9 over negative 22. Okay. Okay. Anyone else on any of the ones that I did or anything else? Nathan S? 13. Okay. 13, step 1. Nathan S., did you subtract 9 on both sides? Okay. So I'm just going to go to that step. So you end up with 1/2 x equals 27. And that's after you do 36 minus 9. Did you get that? Okay. So then to get rid of 1/2, Nathan, what do? Do you divide, multiply by the reciprocal, or multiply by the bottom? Okay. Ben, you should not be talking this much today. Multiply both sides by the denominator or the bottom of the fraction. So this goes away. Okay. And you're left with x equals 27 times 2 is 54. Did you make a silly mistake? Okay. Maybe you forgot to move the 9 over first. First thing you should have done was taken 9 and subtracted it from both sides. Okay? Gio?
This isn't a question, but I don't know why that only takes like 4 seconds.
Okay. Go ahead. You want to tell us?
Well, if it's one step, you multiply the top number.
Go ahead. It's okay.
Divide the number that by the top number, and then you multiply the answer by the bottom number.
Okay, so you actually do it backwards than we do, which is fine. You divide by this first, and then multiply by this. Same thing that I explained or that some people do here, just the opposite. So you're fine. If that's faster for you, go for it. Like I said the other day, Gia, there's a lot of ways to solve these. I don't necessarily always do it the way I teach it either. I'm just trying to give you guys and girls different strategies. Ben, you had your hand up. It depends on the person. Maybe to you, maybe not to Gia, or maybe to me, but not to someone else. So it just depends on the person. Okay, it's your preference. That's why I let you guys choose what you prefer and how to get rid of fractions. Ray. 15, 12 and a half, 12.5, or 25 over 2. Okay, anyone else? Drew, you okay over there? Okay. All right, let's open up notes back to page 17, please. So I want to go backwards here for a little bit. Set page 17, which is where we left off yesterday. Okay, I'm just going to erase part of letter A on page 17. So I want you guys and girls to look at letter B on page 17, where I'm pointing. I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit. Okay, so just a little more practice from yesterday, because I don't know if you guys have mastered this yet, which is why we're still spending more time on it today. Mike? We did not do B yesterday, no. So that's why it's not on the smart board. Okay, that's okay, just watch then, okay? Letter B. Okay, very first thing you want to do on this, we could call it a two-step or multi-step, depending on how you solve. Josh, what's the first thing we need to move on letter B? Good. We first need to subtract the 12 on both sides. So move that over. Always combine what you can first. So add or subtract what we can. We're left with 3/5 D equals 27. Okay, so more practice from the homework. I know you saw a lot of these problems in there. What do I always say to do now? What is the next step so that we're all consistent? Grace? Good. Multiply both sides by the denominator, so let's please all be consistent here. And I know some of you have different ways of doing this. So multiply both sides by the denominator. The 5s are going to cancel here. What does our next step look like? So I can make sure you guys are simplifying correctly. Abigail. Okay, so what does our next step look like? Did you write it down or no? Good job. 3D equals 135. These 5s cancel. 27 times 5 is 135. Okay, just so we can make sure, is everyone all right? Okay, next step, divide both sides by 3. And I want to make sure that you guys and girls are all taking your time on these. I think some of you may be rushing through them. Ben, what is our answer? Good. D is equal to 45. And as always, to check this, you can take your answer, plug it back into the equation, and use your calculator to see, is 39 equal to, is this side also 39? And yes, I promise you it works. They are equivalent. That is the answer. Kevin?
I did the geo first.
Yep, good job. So Kevin made sure that Geo's way of doing this is correct, and it is, and I told you that already, Geo. So do you like that way better, Kevin? Okay, good. Yeah, and more than welcome. And I like when you guys share your ways of doing it. Someone else may like that better. So that's a good thing to talk about. Okay, let's do a word problem. Example 3. This is so exciting. It's about tree growth. I know you'd be excited. All right, so ready? The height. What'd you say, Neil? It is slow, yeah. So the height of a certain Norway spruce is 10 feet. So currently, the tree that we're analyzing is 10 feet. If this tree's height grows 2.5 feet per year, we need to find out how many years is it going to take that tree to reach a height of 25 feet. Now, do not do this mentally, okay? I know some of you guys prefer that. What I want to do first is set up an equation so that we can talk about, okay, well, why is this next to x, or why is it this is what it's equal to? So Abigail, you want to try? Whoa, that was really quick. Raise your hand if you were thinking that. Okay, I don't have to explain much. Very good. Now, that's okay. If you have the 10 in front, 2.5x second, that's fine. If you have the whole thing flipped around, that's fine. It does not have to be in this exact order. Ben? That's okay. Doesn't matter what variable you use, okay? All right, so let me ask you this. Why is 2.5 next to x? Well, again, we did a lot of these in chapters 2 and 3, but why is 2.5 next to x? Mike? Good job. This is how much it's growing per year. This is actually our rate of change. We'll talk a lot about this in chapter 8, but this is our rate, okay? So, Joseph, do you have a question? You can do that, and I'm getting to that part. You can do that. All right, everyone else okay? Questions or comments? Okay, next step, subtract 10 on both sides. So let's solve our two-step equation. We have 2.5x is equal to 15. Now, here's what Joseph just said. He prefers to change 2.5 to 2.5 and then do 15 divided by 2.5. You may do that. Or we can change 2.5 to 5 over 2x, keep it equal to 15. Okay, so either way is fine. Joseph, you can do that. Do it that way. Gio, you do it your way. Ben? If you want to divide on the calculator by 2.5, it is 2.5, but it says 2.5 up there, Ben. The graphing calculators don't let you type in 2 and then a half. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm pretty sure, Miss Wingrove, do those graphing calculators type in mixed numbers that you know of? Do they? Okay. Okay, so never mind, they do. I just don't think I remembered that. Okay, so Ben, that's fine. The little ones may do that if you prefer. You can also change them to decimals. Okay, doesn't matter. Anyone else, questions or comments? Okay, next step, if you do it the way we did in class, get rid of the denominator, multiply both sides by 2. Okay, these cancel. We're left with 5x equals 30. And then divide both sides by 5. So Shane, how many years is it going to take for the tree to reach 25 feet? Good. So our answer here is 6 years. Joseph. Divide by 25. Yes, you can definitely do that. Yep, that's another shortcut. Easy way of figuring it out. Anyone else? Questions, comments on anything about this? Okay, let's flip over to section 5.7. Yeah, this is the end of the chapter. That's why your chapter test is next week. Ben. Okay, let's start with example 1. We're just going to do a couple of these. No, don't worry about the objective. Objective is the same as 5.6. Okay, example 1, let's go right to letter A. Okay, so example 1, letter A. If we have 1/4 x plus 3 over 10 equals 2/5. You did some of these on your homework last night, but not a lot. Before we move anything, what do we always do first? Peyton? Good. Find a common denominator. So we need to change 2 over 5 to 4 over 10. So first thing you need to do is find a common denominator because we're combining or going to subtract these two fractions. Okay, after you find a common denominator, we need to move 3/10 to the other side. You're going to do that by subtracting. So minus 3/10 minus 3/10. We're left with, that's a positive 1/4. I know it looks like there's a little break in there. Positive 1/4 is equal to 1/10. And then, Jackie, how do we get rid of our 1/4? Good. Multiply both sides by 4. So we're going to multiply both sides by 4, which is the same thing as 4 over 1. So if you want, you can cross simplify here, or you can multiply across the top, across the bottom, and then cross simplify. Okay, it's up to you. Let's cross simplify on this one just for practice. 2 goes into each of these. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. So 0.4 or 2/5 is your answer for letter A. Questions on that one? Okay, I want you guys and girls to try B, but do not go too far ahead. So try B and then put your pencil down, okay? You will get a fraction answer on letter B, okay? Good job. So try B and then just put your pencil down. Is that equivalent? Then let it go for that one. Thank you. Please make sure you guys and girls are keeping them as fractions, especially because the 1/3 on here is a repeating decimal. So keep it as a fraction. Good job. Good job. Awesome. Just don't forget your negative. Ben, try that again, please. It's not right. Ray, do me a favor, Ray. Move up in that seat up there, please, in front of Skylar. Okay, take all your stuff. Come on, Ray. I know you can move a little faster than that. Oh, try that again. Okay, so don't forget about the 6 still left.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Okay. Did you forget to do B? Yeah. No, this is right. Wait, actually, no, that's not right. Do B. Yes, good job. Yep, I thought I already got yours, sorry. You'll get it. Just keep going. Great job. Great job. Okay, so step 1 was find common denominators. This time you had to change both fractions to be something over 18. Okay, so be careful here when you're subtracting on both sides. We end up with 1/3 x equals -1 over 18. 14 minus 15 is -1 over 18. To get rid of our 1/3, you need to multiply both sides by 3. Okay, so some of you I know did this a little bit differently, which is fine. When you multiply both sides by 3, this is going to cancel. So you can either cross simplify here with the 3 and the 18. 3 goes into both 3 and 18. Or multiply across the top, across the bottom, and then simplify. So we have x equals, 3 goes into 3 once. This negative I'll put with the 1. 18 divided by 3 is 6. We end up with -1/6. Questions on that one? Sure? Ray, face the smartboard, please. Okay, I want to do one more, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do one more with you guys. So let's look at letter C, okay, and then I'm going to have you start working on your homework. Gia, why don't you just get up and pick it up, please? Okay, letter C is a little tricky, so try to kind of stay with me on this one. Okay, first step. Kevin, first thing we have to do is what? Okay, for what 2 fractions? Good. Neil, what is the common denominator? Good. The LCD, or common denominator, for 3/10 and 2/3 is 30. So 10 goes into 30 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. This changes to 9 over 30. Rewrite your -7 over 15x equals, we need to convert 2/3 to something over 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. So this changes to 20 over 30. Nathan S., what's the next step? Good job. So subtract 9/30ths from both sides. Are you with us, right? Okay. This goes away. Ben, put your shoe down, please. Are you paying attention? Are you with us? Okay. Just sit there then, okay? That's fine if you're past us. Negative 7 over 15x is equal to, we end up with 11 over 30. Bless you. Okay, now, the way that we do it, our next step is to multiply both sides by 15, positive 15. I usually keep the negative with the numerator. So let's multiply both sides by 15. Now, be careful here. 15s cancel here. Now, this time I'm not going to cross simplify, but you can. When you get to this part, you're left on the left side with negative 7x. On the right, I know some of you guys don't like to cross simplify, so let me try one without doing that. You can multiply across the top, across the bottom, or you can simplify these. So pick the way you want. I'm going to do it where you just multiply across the top, across the bottom. You get 165 over 30, and that's by multiplying across the top, across the bottom. Is everyone okay so far?
Yes.
Okay. Drew, did you say no? Okay. All right, so next step, to get rid of negative 7, we're dividing both sides by negative 7. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So I'm using a different color so you know that that's our different operation there. We're dividing by negative 7. When you're dividing, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So we end up here with x equals 165 over 30 times 1 over negative 7. And that's if you did it the exact same way that I did. And then you can cross simplify here and then multiply across the top, across the bottom, and come up with your completely simplified answer. Does anyone want to try to tell us what they got? Nathan S.? You get negative 11 over 14. Peyton? Yes, you can. If you, and there's so many ways to do this. If you change negative 7 over 15 to have a common denominator of 30, that's much easier. Yes, you can definitely do that. Mike? Say that one more time. That's fine. Yeah. You actually save yourself a step. If you multiply by the reciprocal, you save yourself a step here. Drew? Okay, which is what we did. She got 165 over 30. Okay. Okay. Okay, then you probably cross-simplified wrong. Oh, I'm sorry, up here. I was looking at the wrong spot. Okay, so, okay, hold on. Let me erase. Let me erase. No, that eraser is so small. Hold on. Okay, so Drew, and you're fine doing it this way. Okay, so multiplying across the top, across the bottom for the way that you did it, we have 11 over 2, which is equal to negative 7x. Okay, now when you divide both sides by negative 7, is that what you did next? Okay, that's why. You can't get rid of this negative 7 by multiplying, because negative 7 times negative 7 is 49. You have to divide both sides by this. So that's where you made your mistake. When you're dividing, Drew, you end up with 11 over 2 times negative 1 over 7. Multiply by the reciprocal, multiply across the top, across the bottom. That's how you get negative 11 over 14. So I wanted to just do it the other way because some people don't cross simplify. I think this way is easier, the way that you did it. Just be careful at the end with this last step. Okay, anyone else? Okay, give me a thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down on, these are the harder ones, but types of equations with fractions and finding common denominators. Mike and Shane? Okay, thank you. All right, I need you to open up your homework packet. I think to 5-6. Let me take a look at mine. You did some of it. Okay. Okay, on practice 5-6, you're going to have to do a little bit on 5-6 and a little bit on 5-7. Okay, I want you to try 22 through 24 and 26. On 5-7, I want you to do sorry, 2 through 26 even. Yeah, that's enough. So 2 through 26 even. There's another word problem that I'd like to do, but I think I'm going to wait until Tuesday. So 5.6, 22 through 24, and then also number 26, practice 5-7, 2 through 27, 2 through 26 even. Gio. You can borrow, since your packets are at school, you can take a homework packet and use it. Did you take notes in there today? Okay. You can rip it out and put it in your other packet, or you can just turn in both, and I'll flip to what I need to. Okay. Since we have 5 minutes, why don't you get a homework packet? That way you can start. Okay. Any other general questions before I walk around for a little bit? Okay. Please show your work. Okay. You have to on these. Now, I know there's a couple different ways you guys are getting rid of the fractions in front of the variables. If you have a question on Tuesday, I'll do it whatever way that you do it. That way you can find your mistake easier. So if you like to multiply by the reciprocal, that's fine. If you like to cross simplify, that's fine. If you don't like to cross simplify, that's fine. So I know there's multiple ways. I'll make sure that I ask you on Tuesday, well, how did you do it? And I'll go over it that way. Okay? Make sure that's due for Tuesday, and then Chapter 5 test either Thursday or Friday next week. Right now, we'll say Thursday.